Hello and welcome. My name is Biagio Mazza, Pastoral Associate at St. Sabina Parish in Belton, Missouri, and I'm here to welcome you to another Do You Know series question. Today's Do You Know question is, do you know Sister Josephine Bakhita, the patron saint to victims of human trafficking? February is known as Black History Month, and in the month of February we celebrate the feast of Sister Josephine Bakhita on February the 8th. The first Black African saint to be canonized in modern times. She was born in Sudan in 1869. Sudan is northeast Africa. She was born, as I said, in an affluent family, and at the age of 8, slave traders actually kidnapped her. They operated in the area, and 3 years before they had actually kidnapped her older sister as well. She was sold into slavery over the next few years, and she had been so traumatized by the event that the slave traders actually gave her the name of Bakhita because she had forgotten her family name. Bakhita means lucky or fortunate in Arabic. As I said, she was sold over 5 times to horrendous masters who abused, mutilated her, cut, branded her, and treated her horribly. Eventually, in 1883, she was sold to the Italian consul in Khartoum, the capital of Sudan, who eventually brought her to Italy and gifted her to her merchant friend of his, Augusto Micheli. And in the process of doing this, the Michelis had a daughter, and Bakhita became the nanny to the daughter. And as she accompanied her to the school run by the Canosian Sisters in Venice, Bakhita fell in love with Catholicism and was very much attracted to the Canosian Sisters. Soon, Augusto Micheli had actually bought property in Africa and wanted to take his daughter and Bakhita back to Africa, and Bakhita refused to go. The case eventually landed in Italian courts, and with the support of the Canosian Sisters as well as the Archbishop of Venice, she was freed because slavery was illegal in Italy at the time. So in 1890, she actually converted to Catholicism and took the name of Josephine Margaret Fortunata, meaning fortunate or lucky in Italian. In 1893, she became a novice with the Canosian Sisters, and in 1896 took vows, and she ministered to the Canosian community in Schio, near Venice, for the next 50 years as a cook, seamstress, and most importantly as a porter, one who welcomed children and adults to the community, and all fell in love with her. She was also known affectionately as Sor Marotta or Madre Marotta, meaning our black mother. In 1910, her superiors convinced her to tell her story so that it could be written down and to symbolize and actually show the strength and grace that she received in her captivity and so on. In 1978, Pope John Paul II declared her venerable. She had died in 1947, but in 1978 she was declared venerable. In 1992 she was beatified, and in the year 2000 she was canonized, with her feast day being celebrated on February the 8th. In 2015, Pope Francis, on the feast of St. Bakhita on February the 8th, proclaimed the first International Day of Prayer and Awareness against human trafficking. The Sister Bakhita also became known as the patron saint of Sudan and of all victims of slavery and human trafficking. She is often pictured as with broken chains, symbolizing her escape from slavery. On February the 8th in 2022, there was a famous sculpture of Sister Bakhita that was displayed in St. Peter's Square. It was created in 2019 by the Canadian sculptor Timothy Schmalz, who pictured Bakhita as releasing a mass of captive people from underground captivity. He named the sculpture, "Let the Oppressed Go Free." The key focus of Pope Francis is human trafficking because he declared it as one of the worst evils of our modern society. Many women religious congregations have really done a lot of good work against human trafficking. February the 8th, therefore, it's important to, as this International Day of Prayer and Awareness Against Human Trafficking, it's important to know that over 40 million people are estimated to be caught up in human trafficking today, and that human trafficking essentially distorts the human relationship from victims, buyers, to the whole society. Human trafficking is not just the result of a few bad actors. Human trafficking occurs simply because there is a demand in the consumer society for many of the things that are that benefit from human trafficking. For example, cheaper clothes, the whole sex trade and sex industry, as well as all the other cheaper products that are produced by people that probably caught up in human trafficking. So that, in other words, society benefits from human trafficking, and that's why it continues to exist. In 2015, Pope Francis encouraged all people of goodwill not to be accomplices in this evil act of human trafficking. So it's important on February the 8th and during the month of Black History to really reflect what are our connections to the social sin of human trafficking. What unjust and social economic structures really allow human trafficking to survive and really profit from it? And what actions of resistance might we take against human trafficking to heal the distorted relationship that human trafficking causes? So I hope this has helped to explain just a bit of Sister Josephine Bakhita and why she is named as the patron saint of victims of human trafficking, and the whole issue of human trafficking that we must address as a society so that eventually it can be eliminated from our world to this very day. So I hope this has helped to explain just a bit more of Sister Josephine Bakhita, and I hope you'll return again to more Do You Know series questions as we continue to delve into our history and traditions. Thank you very much.